Hello, and thank you for tuning in to TPR, That Podcast Radio.
In today's show, we will be saying goodbye to Laurie's house in the final episode at this location. And now,
That Podcast.
It's the duo that you love the most, covering events from coast to coast. That podcast is all about the fun with your hosts, LPiddy and Jon Jon. Chirping about gossip like chickadees. Turn up the cast and enjoy the tea. The podcast with the beauty and the brawn. One's a gay turkey and the other is a black swan. It's that podcast. It's that podcast. It's that podcast. Live from the Jon Jon and Company studio in Denver, Colorado, it's That Podcast. And now, here are your hosts, LPiddy and Jon Jon.
Hey, what? What's happening, LPiddy?
What's up, Jon Jon?
We are back. Can you believe this is episode number 6 dos?
No, I cannot at all. Seis dos. Okay, 6-2. Yep.
6 dos. Now, some of you guys might be hearing our audio is a little bit different today.
Yes.
And before we get started, we should probably just call that out.
Yeah, let's call it out. We're working on it.
So you guys might have seen our episode is named Goodbye, and there was a reason for it, which we'll get into a little bit later. But this is going to be our very last time recording at Laurie's house.
That was so off.
That is very true. So we recorded that bit yesterday live in Laurie's house. And today we are being safe, social distancing, and teleconferencing one another.
Virtually fancy. Huh. No. That's
literally anytime. And we're not doing a Zoom meeting, but Zoom, if you want to sponsor us, holla at a playa.
Yeah. Love to for our podcast. Yeah.
True. But anytime someone's
for details, but never mind.
That's right. And anytime someone schedules a Zoom meeting, I always whisper the Zoom part. Yeah. Zoom. Zoom. Well, LP, let's get right into the show. It's time for shoutouts.
Hopefully that was together. If not, it's going to sound really funny.
Really funny, bunny. Yes. LPD, who are your shoutouts this week, sister?
I want to say hello to Sam. Hi, Sam. I love you.
Hi, baby.
Yeah. I will get back on Marco Polo.
Yeah, that's true. You and I love this app, the Marco Polo app.
Oh, my gosh, yes. So much so that we're upgrading the app.
Girl, you know it's a good app, and you've actually got me into a couple different apps. Not that this is the app topic, but you've gotten me into a lot of apps that I actually pay for.
Yeah.
I pay for a lot of different things, and I would tell the internet what it is, but girl, I do not need people trying to hack that shit.
Right, exactly. Nope.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
No. Sorry.
Girl, don't be sorry. Just be fierce.
We're all born naked. The rest is drag, okay?
It's so true. It's so true. Well, my first shout out is my Judy Ryan. Of course, you know Ryan. We all had a lovely time at my birthday dinner a few months ago when we were allowed to eat outside. Well, in a restaurant. And girl, you know, that is one thing I tell you I really miss is Benihana.
Oh my gosh, yes. Me too. I would go back in a heartbeat and but can't.
No can here.
Right.
Who's your second shout out?
It's going to Elise. Elise, she is, oh my gosh, Nerdy Curls Girls. Oh gosh, she's gonna kill me that I got it wrong, but she knows. Nerdy Curls, I'm just gonna call her that. Her YouTube channel is doing great right now, so please subscribe to her. You might have seen us shout her out. No, we didn't.
No, what I was doing was rubbing my heart.
Oh,
no. Girl, Laurie's over here reading sign language. I like just touching my heart because I love Elise, and she's like, "Do we not know?" No, we absolutely did shout her out because we love Elise.
We do. Oh my gosh.
Oh, girl, I've missed you.
I missed you. A lie. This is kind of cool that we have this video going too. Maybe we start our YouTube channel, and like we post this up too, like so everybody can see how crazy we look right now.
Yeah, literally. My house is a fucking mess. My body's a mess. My mind is always a mess. So there's that.
Yeah, so if you guys want to see that, you might see it even beforehand. I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
Maybe not, maybe so. Well, my second shout out goes to my sister Jeanette in Tejas. Yeah, she's doing really well out there. She's a fiance. Oh, I was gonna say an engaged woman. That was a really tough word to find. I'm like, what is that word when they're getting ready to be wedded?
Oh, let me just use this fancy word called fiance instead.
Fiance, yes, I'm French. But I think that was this week's shout outs.
So here's what I want to know, because I have big plans today. I'm going to make bread.
Oh, girl. Are you going to make like French bread?
I don't know what makes it French.
I don't know. It was just a really bad segue from fiance.
I figured. But I like just got concerned, so.
What would we call a French bread? Literally, I think it's just called French bread.
I think so. I mean, I probably just put in like rosemary, because rosemary and bread is like dope, and then maybe some garlic powder and some onion powder, because that's good. I used to make everything bread when I had my everything seasoning. I love how I did this. Yep. Never mind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. When you do the gesture for seasoning, that means something way different in my community, or my evenings, frankly. Right. And you can season too if you want.
That's what seasoning. I'm just saying.
Oh, seasoning, honey.
Definitions, am I right?
I heard. No, you got me into crazy seasoning, girl. I'm telling you, I season the shit out of everything, and I don't mean just salt.
Yeah.
Because that's usually my seasoning of choice.
I'm not gonna lie, I am not the person that uses regular salt to like season my food. I am that person that's like, I need either garlic salt or onion salt, because one, it's lower, and then two, it tastes better instead of regular ass salt.
And 3, it keeps the Draculas away.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Draculas. I don't want no more piercings, especially not in my neck. So.
No, for sure. No, a neck piercing. Girl, people probably do that. I'm not even trying to be read by the internet, but.
Well, I mean, look at what is it, dermals? Like,
no, what?
Dermals, like they like cut your skin open and put the piercing in. Like Cardi B just had it done.
Oh, yeah.
You guys can't see
well,
me.
I was trying to. Well, see, and we're on video conference, so like I was trying to like play charades. I'm like, voice box, breathing tube, neck brace, scarf. It's like, no, girl. So
I was going to say something completely dirty, but I didn't. So, it's cloudy over here. I think we're about to get rainstorms, but
is it cloudy with a chance of meatballs?
I wish, because who doesn't love a good meatball?
Hey, I like meatballs and Polish sausage.
Yeah,
or like, Italian sausage, frankly, or French sausage. French sausage.
Good callback. Good callback.
That's a third. That's the rule of threes, people. That's comedy. Whereas the audience.
And that was that podcast.
Oh my God, we're gonna probably, if we use these headsets, we're gonna expose our soundboard. I mean, the live audience.
Yeah.
Oh, Sade.
Oh gosh, I really am going to put this onto YouTube for us, because
I think it's going to be a winning situation.
Yep. So, yeah.
Girl, you're going to have to edit some background into me.
It really isn't that messy, and I really want that chair that you have behind you.
Oh, honey, girl, we'll do tradesies.
Here,
you take this, I take this. I love it. But yeah, no, I think that that would be a good time. And you and I, girl, we got some follow-up to do from the last episode. Now, Lizzie, you guys could totally shade us. Our last episode, despite there being a pandemic,
yep,
and us being pretty technologically sound, was not since April 18th, 2020, mama. So on that episode, we did a little game called Black Turkey and Gay Swan. Nope. We played a game called Gay Turkey
and Black Swan.
Yes. Take it away, Laurie. Just kidding. Oh hell! Now,
Got confusing just for a second.
it really did. It really did. Now, the last episode, now I'm very self-conscious about us posting this on YouTube. That I want to go get a Soji screen for my background. One moment, team.
I'm gonna try to find our question and answers. Oh wait, I think I have them.
Yep,
Nope,
the
that's
first one there.
Nope, that's not it. Go ahead. You go run. I will just I will totally do ASMR. Hey guys, this is ASMR. It's not.
Eat something. Eat something.
Nom nom nom. I don't know. Oh my god. I remember that. Ooh, so fancy. Ooh, what's that bag too? So cute.
Oh, that's a Dooney and Burke, girl.
Oh, okay. Oh my gosh, that is actually the cutest thing ever. While you're doing that, since might be doing it, I got leaves and flowers on my wall. That's not how I wanted it, but whatever. It might come with me.
That's much better. My dog is really upset with me. You should have seen because I've basically put her in jail behind me.
Hey, Cookie.
Hello, guys. Welcome to my tea house.
What kind of tea are you serving today? The tea? Spill
the
it.
Only tea. Spilling the tea.
The hell of a reach there.
Oh, girl. So the first, did you find the first fact?
No, because I don't have our thing on there, so I'm looking through shared with me. You might have to share it with me.
Oh, I did share it there with you.
Can't find it.
No worries, girlfriend. Well, I'll jump right into the first fact here. The first fact was that podcast co-host was born in another country and moved here when they were in elementary school. Was it Gay Turkey or Black Swan? Yeah. So we have, with 57% of the vote, which is indeed correct, me, Gay Turkey.
Good job, guys.
So
Nice.
good job, guys. Now, the second fact, we actually got some people were reaching out to us, too, in the comments. But the second fact is that podcast co-host has ziplined in the jungles of Honduras. Now, Shelly actually was on. She commented on our Instagram. Of course, that's at #thatpodcast. And she said, this one is 100% Laurie because I was there. Wow. Okay. Wow. with 50%, 57% of the vote, it's indeed LPiddy Black Swan.
She wasn't with me.
Oh, she wasn't? Shelly, what kind of intel are you sending us? Wait, maybe it's not that. Maybe. Oh no. Okay, I'm so sorry, Shelly. This is fake news. This is what she responded to on another fact. Shelly was not with you in Honduras. She was, however, let's just go into the fifth and final fact. We'll go back to 3 and 4. But during the first ever color run in Colorado, that podcast host sang the national anthem before the race. Both are known singer-songwriters. Of course, was this Gay Turkey or Black Swan? With 57% of the votes, it's Black Swan, Laurie.
Yes, it was me.
And that was where Shelly was.
That's where my voice is so shaky because I had to climb up scaffolding just to get up there, and I'm like, oh my gosh! Not only am I afraid of heights, but I have to climb up scaffolding right now, and I'm about to run a race, so I'm like, oh, see.
That's wild.
Like, yeah. Mm-hmm.
You climbed up scaffolding, girl. This is like a production of Rent over here.
Exactly. That's how it felt. So.
Damn, the color run's a big deal. 25,600 minutes. How many minutes to measure a year?
There's 1 minute and 2 minutes and 3 minutes, 4 minutes.
Did you know that 60 minutes is 1 hour as well?
I wonder how many hours 20 minutes is. Maybe it's 2 hours. Math.
Arithmetic. Well, folks, speaking of arithmetic, That podcast host is 7.5 years younger than the oldest sibling, 7.5 years older than the youngest sibling. Hint, both co-hosts are middle children with a sister and a brother.
I don't know if you read the exact same thing twice, but
I might have.
Yeah.
That podcast host is a middle child. It felt like that. Listen, people, you wanted content, we're giving you content, okay?
here, for my email, I give up. Screw it.
Listen, a rusty pipe still works.
Yeah.
I think. I'm not a plumber. Now, this person is 7.5 years younger than the oldest sibling. 7.5 years younger than the oldest, okay? And then 7.5 years older than the youngest sibling.
Okay.
So
yeah,
basically,
that's right.
this person is 7.5 years older and younger. Is this gay turkey or black swan? Again, you all got it correct with the majority of the votes. It is Black Swan.
Oh my gosh.
So you are actually a middle child too, which is crazy.
Yeah, but I'm like dead in the middle.
Yeah, you are like a real middle child. Like I'm a little closer to my younger sister than I am an older brother.
Right.
So
no, I'm like dead in the middle. I was like, oh, that's a fun fact. I'll throw in there. Hell yeah.
hell yeah, I really love this. I really love this fact. Now, these get harder and harder as you go. Now, the fourth and final fact, because we already read number 5, that podcast co-host is a podcaster, YouTuber, and business owner. Sound familiar?
Uh-oh.
This person has a brother and a sister.
What?
Sound familiar?
Oh,
This
no.
host has interviewed Drag Race queens exclusively for this podcast.
Oh, no.
Wow. This person has had their hair braided and has hazel eyes.
Oh.
Ooh.
And you know what? This is a really good one because I've had hazel eye contacts. So.
Ooh, yes. And I have one time put my hair in a fishbone tail.
Ooh, fancy.
Yes, yeah, I felt like a Viking girl.
Ooh.
I'm like, work it out. Well, folks, it was. You guys got it correct. Gay turkey, that's me. So the only difference there is literally hazel eyes.
Yeah, it really is.
So you guys are good. You guys. No, they know us well, girl. I mean, let's be honest. Let's be honest here.
Right. Apparently, I didn't accept our podcast invitation. I was just ready to go. I was like, hey, I hope you're ready to podcast because we're podcasting today.
Because we talked about this yesterday.
Yes, we did.
Speaking of things we talked about yesterday, girl, let's talk about where in the world we've been. Talk to me, LPiddy. Where in the world have you been, Carmen Sandiego?
I've been all over the place. I've been in my bedroom. I've been in my living room, and I've also been in my kitchen.
Around the world, around the world, around the world.
I think we agreed I could say this. I was also in Arizona. I had to go to Arizona, so.
The AZ up in Heezy.
Up in here.
That's crazy that you were in AZ.
Okay.
Everyone have a nice time. Thank you. This was that podcast. Oh, shoot.
In reality, I've been mostly home. I've been in the office a few times, our Colorado and our Arizona office, because we have two. So, yeah. But
You are a professional.
I'm a professional working girl, and
That's right.
not like Laquifa, Chandler Laquifa Watley.
But that's the type of working girl I am.
Oh, great. Oh, that's awesome.
Work. So how was that trip? So you went to AZ. How hot was it? Was it pretty hot?
It didn't feel like it, but it was. Like, there was one day I got to 111, and I was like, oh.
Like 3 ones is what you're saying.
Yeah. Not 11.
Oh, no.
So, but
No.
it was nice. Like,
Girl, that is not nice. That sounds like the depths of hell.
It's better than here, because when we saw each other, like the day before I flew out, we saw each other, and it was humid and only 80 degrees, and I was dying. Like,
Yeah, it was brutal for sure. This Colorado temperature, and you know, I always say sometimes I feel like it's hotter because we're closer to the sun.
Yeah.
People are like, okay, crazy.
But, I mean, it's a valid idea. Okay, thank you.
Totes my goats. Now, that's nuts though. Totes my goats. What is Arizona like? Real desert like? Like they got like lots of red sand?
I mean, there's sand, but I mean, you still see like trees and obviously palm trees because that's the tree as well.
What about grass? Do you see like grass in people's front yards, or is that like rock?
No, it's more gravel. And then like my friends have fake grass in their backyard too.
Oh,
I love
I've
that.
smoked that before. Fake grass.
Oh, that's
That's very concerning. Yes, not the plastic one, just everywhere. Anyway, I digress. That's exciting. Now, girl, since last time we were here, I've been loading up on the tattoos. I've been finishing my arm sleeve. I have a kind of like a garter belt tattoo. Girl, it's not a garter belt. It's literally like the size of a plate on my thigh.
I think like a
Yeah,
I don't know.
garter belt. Everyone, my garter bark tartar. But I've been just cranking that out. I got some clouds filled in on my arm, and I gotta tell you, I love summertime. I love getting tattoos. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't care what anyone says. That shit hurts.
Yeah.
Don't sit here and tell me that sticking yourself with a needle is therapeutic. Girl, bye. It hurts.
Right. No, I need to, because I want to get a tattoo here soon. I don't know when. Hopefully everything stays open, because, things are starting to close back down again.
For sure.
I'm going to get numbing, like, cream. And then I saw one guy who was like, I put numbing cream on the spot where they were about to tattoo, and I just left it there, and then I wrapped it in saran wrap, and I left it for 2 hours, and I didn't feel a thing. Like, he felt like a little bit of pressure. That's it.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, that should be perfect, because I think I want it like right here. On I should probably describe it for those who are only listening to the audio.
That's right.
It's like on my right arm somewhere. How about that shit? I don't know.
Yeah, kind of like that front forearm. Like if you hold your head, if you're trying to block someone, that area.
Yeah.
Like a football block. All of our football fans.
Yeah,
Also, you could knead bread like that, I guess, right? Laurie is completely disconnected.
There we go.
She's back. She's better than ever.
I'm tangled.
Well, the good news is we can hear you.
Yes, I know. I looked up like, oh no. What was that? ICQ? Remember that?
Oh, girl. No. Oh, ICQ. Oh, yeah. Wait, I'm thinking ICP. Not the same thing. Not the same thing.
No. Sorry.
Is ICQ the chat thing?
Yeah.
Okay,
Sorry,
with the flower.
Exactly. And then I go,
uh-oh. That's where I got it from. I was wondering what it was from. Thank you. ICQ. I used to love ICQ, girl. Me over here catfishing as like a 11-year-old. I'm like, hey, yeah,
That's how you type?
Yeah, that's how I type when I catfish. Bloop, bloop, meow. Oh, what a mess. What a mess.
Oh my gosh.
It's wild. I am glad you and I are back together. Since I've been doing some tattoos. Now you're gonna get a tattoo, you said, on your forearm.
Yeah.
And are you gonna reveal what it is?
I don't know. What do you think? Should I reveal it?
Totally. Do I know about this tattoo?
You already know about it.
Okay, cool. I just didn't know if it was a different one. I'm like, girl, I think reveal it, girl.
Yeah. But I do have a different one in mind too. I'm totally gonna get like a Sailor Moon one.
Girl.
So, yeah. So I just don't know where, and I know what it's going to be. It's like her internal Sailor Moon brooch that she has on her uniform. Outfit.
Oh.
Yeah. So yeah, it has a little heart, and it has like wings.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. Like that emblem, right?
Yeah. I might have showed it to you too. Like, yeah.
Yes.
A wing.
So you're getting a pterodactyl on your forearm.
I am. Yes. But, for my next one. So I don't know how often I talk about my tattoos, but I have two. They're both on my hips, so that's why nobody really sees them, because I'm not out there taking out my pants running around. At least not that you could see, because I usually do it at night. So.
Whenever. Go, Shakira. That was because your hips don't lie.
Exactly.
But it wasn't even the song.
No, it was not. It was not. now that you said that, because I was like, yeah.
But I just love. Don't you wish you were like you knew exactly who I was the second I started
Oh yeah.
I wonder if mine. Do you think mine's like my stupid laugh? You think people are like, "Oh, girl, that's John." Like my lole lole lole. One day.
Yeah. Like I have
Or
like
maybe-
a weird yell giggle sometimes too. So it's great. I can't do it. Like I just did. Just has to laugh.
Speaking of old ass computer shit, do you remember Bonsai Buddy?
No.
So it was this purple gorilla that you could like type in anything and he would say anything. He's like, I am Bonsai Buddy.
Yes. Yes. Oh my god.
This ended up being the callback throwback episode, but
Right.
girl, that's what we've been doing.
Yep. We have not been anywhere. Like we got to see each other.
That was
before I
lovely.
went to and we saw each other yesterday. So we're both still healthy. I'm still not showing any signs of COVID, so we're doing great.
Yep, I've began to turn a little bit of green and I've been coughing nonstop, so I think I'm fine too.
Yeah.
She said, "Nope, we are. This is no joking matter." But no, I'm feeling healthy. You and I are thriving. We've talked about this.
Yeah.
A lot of prep work in our life right now during quarantine.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So that's
and,
been.
Yeah. I was going to talk about breaks. So sorry.
Go, girl. Talk about that break. Give me a break. Give me a break. Give me a break of that Kit Kat bar. Thank you. Clap, clap, clap.
Clap, 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 clap. Don't get the clap.
That's all right. Now, girl, what you been working on your little quarantine? You've been kind of prepping and all this stuff.
Exactly. What have I been doing? What haven't I been doing?
Oh my god.
A lot of cleaning.
Oh yes,
what
queen.
else? Obviously, like spring cleaning for sure. Like donating a lot of things, selling a lot of things. So yeah, and working on pageant stuff for American Ambassadors. We're planning on doing it all virtually this year, so we've been doing a lot of meetings for that. My own pageant for Bright Futures, I decided to postpone it since we are going. My focus is going to be like mainly American Ambassadors this year, and very excited about that. So yeah, and I'm like, what else?
DJ Khaled.
And I hope you're being safe during quarantine.
Safety.
Yes, boys. We the best.
We the best. Wait, what? I forgot his son's name again. What was his son's name again? You just said it, but you broke out.
Assad.
Assad, that's right. So, boo, 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 boo.
I don't know if I talked about this before we actually started recording or not, but I made a lot of bread. I've been making a lot of bread. I'm surprised that I lost weight because I've made so much bread. So
You mean literal bread, not money.
Exactly, because I'm
Ditto. I've been eating a lot of bread, not really making any.
exactly. But so yeah, I'm gonna get some more flour because I want to make more bread. Yeah, that's it.
Bread life, y'all.
Bread life, and maybe some cookies too. So I might make some because I have a bunch of chocolate chips as well. So
Ooh, girl, milk chocolate or dark chocolate?
I have milk chocolate. I have the big kind and the little kind, and then I have white chocolate ones too.
Ooh.
I do it all three. Come on.
Girl, are you like me? Like, anytime I have dark chocolate, I just pretend I like it. Like, there's no part of me that actually enjoys it, but I'm like, this is kind of less sour than the regular ones.
Like, the only time I like chocolate is with something like the dark chocolate covered blueberries. I don't know what company makes them. Those are good. Like, that just balances each other. Like, I can't just eat dark chocolate by itself.
No, mama, and I try, and I honestly, and I'm such a faker. When people be giving me, I'm like, I'm like, this shit's nasty. I need some milk chocolate. Milka.
Right. Milk cocoa.
Milka is a German chocolate. It's very good. Well, I don't know. It's from the Alps, actually. I don't know where it's from.
Oh.
It's in a purple.
I thought you were about to say, I don't know if it's good. I don't know.
Sounds good. All I know is dark chocolate sucks.
Right. I tell people straight up, I'm like, no, I don't like dark chocolate. I feel as though since, sometimes Black people get compared to chocolate, I'm a great authority to be like, no.
To authorize.
Yeah, to be like, dark chocolate kind of sucks. Okay.
Yeah, no, for real. It really does.
Yeah.
Only in literal chocolate.
Yes, exactly.
But I would take dark chocolate any day.
Right.
That's right. That's right. Now, girl, now you've been cranking out too. You've been prepping and crepping and all that stuff with a little YouTube comeback. Is that right?
That's right, and I think I will go ahead and spoil it. As far as it's probably going to be a docu-series, so totally accidental. Yeah, I know, totally accidental, but I just keep filming. So, and then I might have some different videos too of compilations of stuff that I've filmed during the last few months of when I haven't been on YouTube. So, yeah, gonna be
That's awesome. I can't wait. And do you have a date that you're coming back?
It will be August 15th.
Oh my God. You know we all love your YouTube channel, girl. So I cannot wait to get that content back. No, there's some fun videos you and I have done on your channel. Shout out, my personal favorite was the Shrek video.
Oh, I love that one so much.
Because it's I don't know why. We played this hide and go Shrek that Laurie found, I think on Reddit or online.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was pretty sure it was Reddit. And I was like, we have to do this. We absolutely have to do this. And then we were going to go to a playground and do that. And then we realized as we rolled up, like, oh, that's probably creepy.
For sure. We're all two adults with cameras rolling up to a playground. Right. We're like, yeah.
We're in the 30s.
But see, this is where you and I used good judgment. Despite knowing our intentions, we used good judgment because we would have looked like total fucking creeps.
Yes. So, and it was, we went and got food, and then we record the video in my apartment.
That's right. Now, that's the other thing. Is like with I had so much fun. We went to the park. We got some. Oh my God! I think we got KFC that day, didn't we?
We did.
The Nashville Hot. This is not an endorsement, but
yeah. Oh my gosh, I was so happy just sitting there eating. I'm like, yay, chicken, yay!
Yeah, and then we put on this makeshift Shrek mask that Laurie had made.
I think I still have it somewhere.
Oh, it's epic.
Yeah.
I smell a reunion video.
If I can find it, it's a thing. So I think it's in this little case that I see right in front of me. I could be completely wrong because I don't know where No, I know where it is. It's on my bookshelf.
Oh. Maybe Laurie will take a picture with it and we can post it on the Instagram pod.
Maybe. We'll see.
The pod Instagram. What am I saying? Oh, Lord. Or we could just take a picture of it and post it.
Pastagram.
Pastagram. Oh, it is raining with chance of meatballs cloudy. Oh my God. But yeah, no, girl, I've been doing the same thing. I've been cranking out the YouTubes. You know what's nuts? I just posted my 66th video.
That's so crazy.
On this channel. It's wild.
You've done more than episodes or videos than you've done episodes of that podcast.
Oh my gosh. I literally that did
it took me so long to say it because I was like, whoa, my mind is blown right now. Whoa.
That's wild. Holy moly guacamole. Wowza. Well, of course, I could not have done it without all of you guys. Seriously. Madison has been a great help. Madison's my editor and friend. Girl, it's just crazy. And I know, we all know this. When you create, one of the hardest things to do is edit.
Yeah.
Just from the time commitment standpoint. It's really fun to do, actually, I've noticed. But when you have someone who's able to help, it's really helped me tremendously. And I honestly could not have gotten out 66 episodes of the video, 66 videos this year without her. So shout out to you, girl. But it's been fun.
Madison.
Hey, you know me, so I got booted from another podcast, so I had to occupy my time. And no, seriously, no hard feelings at all. Truly,
yeah.
I thank them for the opportunity. It was a blast working with them. But now, we're working some other stuff. You and I are cranking out some pods. I'm doing 2 different podcasts now called the Jon Jon Happy Hour. Yes. Which actually you were part of when we first started it, like back in 2008 and then 2011.
I know.
So,
which is crazy. Yeah.
And then I'm doing a little morning podcast called The Cup of Jon Jon. So cute. But I have been cranking out the content, girl, but I am going to take a little bit of a break.
I love that idea.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, technically same. I mean, I'm just extending my break.
Heard that.
Yeah.
It's a hiatus, y'all. Hello. It's a hiatus. So I will be back on all my content on August 8th. So
yes.
Yeah, kind of. It's going to be very weird for me. You guys all who listen to the podcast, Laura, you know me as a friend. Mm-hmm. This is going to be a very strange thing for me to take a break and slow down.
Right.
But I'm very excited about it. I'm very blessed that I have the opportunity to do it. But girl, I don't know what I'm going to do myself for a month.
I know. It's going to be crazy. You're going to be like, what do I do? What do I do?
Girl, you're gonna get
Yeah.
a lot of Marco Polos. Let me tell you that.
I know. And my July is just going to be busy just with work stuff. I think that's the
Hmm.
best way I can describe it because it is just purely work stuff. Well,
Whack, 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 whack.
Work, 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 work. But I am still like prepping in the background for different stuff too, as far as like August launch again. You know what I mean? So you and I have a lot of great things on our plates. That's all I can
Yes.
say.
Hmm. And now we just need to get the utensils, and we gotta chow down, baby.
Yeah. You got it. I'm hungry. I should probably go get food too.
Oh yeah, but we will absolutely do that. Now,
Right.
speaking of food, some
Yeah.
food for thought.
Oh wow.
Oh, she reaching, y'all. She really reaching. Now, I was saying earlier, we implored good judgment when we went to the playground, right? There's some other YouTubers who are not using such good judgment lately, especially in, I mean, there's a myriad of people. I'm not going to name them all off, but, most notably, we've heard, the downfall recently of people like Gabby Hanna, Shane Dawson,
Jenna. Uh-oh. Oh no. Oh no. Why are you freezing? Uh-oh. Are you
you
back?
were you were frozen a bit earlier too, so it might be a connectional delay.
It might be. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm surprised that it's just now happening, to be honest.
Unless Skype is owned by Google and they hear us talking about YouTube already. They're like, girl, I don't think they're owned.
Right. No, it's Microsoft, right?
Yeah, you're right, Microsoft. But you know what's getting frustrating for me, girl? And I'm not doing it, but why do we as viewers have to defend the actions of these social media influencers?
We shouldn't have to.
Right? We should
Also-
be able to just watch them, and can't they just be good fucking people?
Right. And I mean, I have so many views on this too, but no, you're exactly right. We shouldn't have to defend them. And also we shouldn't have to make cancel culture a thing. Also, like, I don't know. I'm just seeing what's going on, especially with, first of all, Gabby Hanna. Like, even if she did something wrong, you can tell that she's not doing well right now. And I don't mean that any shady way and stuff like that, because I'm still a Gabby fan. Like, let's just be real. And I was solidified on my decision when she flat out said, look, I'm not in a good place. I'm very, very depressed. I almost took my life. You know what I mean? You don't joke about stuff like that too. And the fact that people are still attacking her after she was like, hey, I'm not in a good place, you're bullying her. Like, people are bullying her at this point, and they don't have any regard for human life. So, that's just how I feel.
And you know what's hard? At what point, and this is a good philosophical question, I don't know that anyone knows the answer to, at what point does the bullying and hate towards an individual stop because of hate they've spewed, right? I don't know at what point can we cease the hate. And this is a controversial opinion in this world right now, but I always do believe that love conquers hate in any stretch of the imagination. Anytime you can combat hate with love, the more love there is, the less hate. It just drowns out. It's like darkness. Look at a dark room. If you have a dark room and you turn on a flashlight, that's a little bit of love. If you turn on all the lights in the room plus the flashlight and your ring light, girl, it's lit. And I think that is what love should do with hate. It's lit, bitch. But that's my take. And so that's been the hard part for me is there any sort of redemption? And again, this is coming from a white presenting person in America. I know that's real rich at this point. but it's true. At what point do we stop hating them, and can people grow? I don't know.
Right. And I think Jenna Marbles is the perfect example of somebody who's grown. You know what I mean? Like, she's called out like some of her own stuff. She even said in her video last week that she went through and just privated the videos that could be misconstrued or could be seen as offensive, you know what I mean? And as she's going through it, like, at first I was confused, especially with the Bounce the Dick song, because I was like, oh, I love that song. I used to know that song for word. I don't know if I can still do it or not. I don't know if I have the song somewhere. I really can't. Now I have to like censor out the offensive part, which can be racist. It can be considered racist, but I didn't realize it either. And that's on me too, you know what I mean? So I feel like this is definitely a moment where we're all growing together, and I realize we need to realize that. We all need to realize that we're growing together. I can guarantee y'all, the ones that are calling her out and stuff like that, you probably thought the exact same way. You know what I mean? And you're just like, let me jump on the bandwagon and attack people. This is not right, you know?
Yep. And yeah, the difference for you and I, we talked about this, is you and I were allowed to be kids and have a childhood and learn and grow without a camera in our face.
Mhm.
Now, granted, it's all up to the person who did that, and I'm not taking away any responsibility for what they should be responsible for. When
Right.
you fuck up, you've got to take responsibility and own it. That's my belief. I believe that, always have.
Yeah.
But that's the hardest part, I think, is, yeah, I don't know. It's a very tough thing for me to think about and talk on, because again, I do believe people make mistakes. I do believe people get better. But at what point does something someone said 12 years ago impact who they are today?
Right.
Because what I said 12 years ago is not the person that I am. And I'm going to go here because I think it's an important part. Recently I found out that there's been a lot of recent news with Black Lives Matter, which I'm a huge proponent for and advocate. You guys all know that. Now, Elijah McClain was one of the ones that really had a lot of publicity behind it, and that was a horrible thing that happened in Aurora. Long story short, I actually went to high school with one of the police officers.
Yeah.
Which is a lot, right?
Mhm.
It's a lot to deal with, but I can't tell you that who he was then is who he is now. Yes, it's the same person, not by no means. But when we were on an improv group in high school performing, there were no signs of that evil, frankly.
Right.
So on the flip side, people can change on the opposite spectrum too. The people who you perceived as good shifted into something negative, and vice versa. People who are horrible can shift into positive.
Mhm.
I think love is ultimately it, but I don't know. I think it's a tough thing. Can people
Definitely.
change?
Right. I mean, I believe people can definitely change. I mean, let's just be honest. I mean, I went back through my Twitter and made sure everything looked okay, because you never know what you said in the past. And thankfully I didn't find a lot at all.
That's right.
But
and
I was
things, yeah, and things that were quote okay to say.
Right. Exactly. I mean, there was
I'm-
some stuff that I retweeted that had questionable words in it or questionable usernames that person doesn't even have that username anymore.
That's right.
Back in the day, it was a great username.
That's right.
I was glad he was owning that username. So, but you never know what's going to be bad next. So you can prepare as much as you want, but every day is a growing moment, and I guarantee you there's going to be something offensive that, hell, we might have said something offensive that's not offensive today that might be offensive 5 years down the line. We don't mean any ill intent. Like when I was looking at my tweets and the two that I found that were bad, they were not in a malice. I'm not trying to gas myself up or anything. They weren't
They really weren't, though. I mean,
they were bad. They were in a positive light too, but the wording that I used, one of the words is something that I don't like to use at all now. I understand why not to use that now. I've grown as a person. That's why I took it down, because I don't believe in what I said back then, even though it wasn't a positive light. But yeah, either way, none of this is in ill intent. You know what I mean?
No.
At all. So,
and that's the hardest part.
Mhm.
Right? I mean, is I don't think anyone started, I think about some of these creators we've mentioned. I don't think they did a sketch or a video with the intent to hurt the Asian American community, the African American community, the LGBTQIA plus community. But it happens because of how we approach things from a society and societal standpoint.
Exactly.
That it was okay for them to put content out like that.
Mhm.
And no one was offended. I mean, you and I watched as if it was a normal content.
Right. Exactly.
Now we've grown to say, girl, that was
That
what
was
in
not
the
good.
world did she say in that music video?
Right. Exactly. I think the big thing is the whole, which there's another YouTuber that we'll have to talk about a lot with this, but the whole blackface thing, I understand why it's offensive. I understand the background of it and stuff like that. For me personally, it doesn't bother me that much. Let me explain this. I still find it offensive. I still if you as a white presenting person, I love how you said that, if you as a white presenting person or a lighter presenting person is doing blackface, you're purposely darkening your skin like that, in support, You should know better, especially since, you know, it offends a lot of people, and people keep doing it and get called out for it. So, like, I wouldn't, I don't, like, I'm the type of person that's like, hey, if we're getting mad about darkening your skin, we need to call out tanning as well. So that's where my understanding comes from, if that makes sense. I'm not saying, like, blackface is good at all. So don't use my words.
Yep, exactly.
It is
But you're
not.
right. I don't know what white people's fascination is with blackface. I honestly, someone tweeted that the other day, and I really have no idea. Like, where do you get off thinking I should do this? I don't understand. Never in my life have I, and I'll be honest, my biggest hero in life is Whoopi Goldberg. I love Whoopi Goldberg. She's my hero since I was a kid. I got to meet her, but never did I think to dress up and paint my skin the tone of Whoopi's.
Right.
Was I a child and put nightgowns on and put shirts over my head with a white headband to look like a nun? Yes, but I never, ever, right? But it's true. It's really inspired my life. But it's crazy. I never in my life thought, let me go find any sort of differentiating color to change that. Because I don't want to say I don't see color, because I know that sounds so like hokey, but it's true.
Right.
Like, I didn't see color when I saw Whoopi.
Right.
And it's really interesting to me, because I don't know where people are like, I'm going to be Jasmine for Halloween, therefore I should paint my skin. I'm going to be, Whoopi is a good example. I'm going to wear fake dreads, and like, why in the world? Why?
Right. And for those that really don't know the background of blackface, and like, I feel bad saying it doesn't bother me. It does bother me, clearly. Because I'm like, this is what it means, and stop doing it. Stop using it for personal gain. People back in the day, like a long, long time ago, when they didn't want black people to be actors and stuff like that, but they wanted to portray them, so white people would paint their face black and portray black people as dumb people, as less than, and like put them in a funny light. They meant it as a joke, but they also meant to like degrade us. So when you see blackface, I know these influencers think like, I'm just trying to pay tribute and stuff like that. What you're doing, you think you might be saying one thing, but guess what you're saying? You're saying another thing. Even though you don't mean this one thing, guess what? You're still saying it. You fucked up. You know better.
You're right. It's reality versus perception, right? Whether you intended it for it to be mean or bad is not the case. How it was perceived as bad and ugly to people is most important. I mean,
exactly.
It's tough. I got to tell you, I do think I'm a proponent of, how do I say this? I do not believe in cancel culture. However, I do believe in people taking responsibility and owning that and calling them out on it.
Exactly.
But I do believe genuinely, based on my own life.
Sorry, Netflix is playing like a role, and like, oh, Babysitter's Club is coming. So I'm like,
the look. If you guys watched the video, the look Laurie just gave me. So I'm like, no, I'm just saying, my life.
I was like thinking of a thought too, like why it doesn't bother me, so you guys can understand where I'm coming from. And then I saw that and I was like, what the hell?
What in the world? But no, keep telling us that thought. I think that's an important thing. I think you should speak on this more than anyone.
So if we didn't have if we didn't have blackface, where it had that historical racial history to it, history, like
history.
I think we all would be okay with it. But I mean, granted, you still shouldn't change your skin tone. Like, you were born the way you were supposed to be. You know what I mean? Like, you should love the body that you're in. But like, yeah, that's tanning pretty much. So if it didn't have the racial backing that it does, and the racial, oh gosh, what does it mean? Like, you're trying to belittle someone.
Like the racial hierarchy, basically, like trying to suppress,
exactly. Like, if it didn't have that suppression, that racial suppression, then obviously it would be okay. But still, it probably would be an issue, because I would probably call out to be like, why are you not happy with yourself? Be in your own skin. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, it's really crazy. I think about people do blackface. They do. I mean, even things like Cinco de Mayo, you see the offensive costumes. You even look at all these Indian cultured outfits. I mean, it's just crazy what people will take liberties for. It just blows me away, to be honest. Like I said, I don't understand the logic behind it to say I'm going to wear this with that.
Right.
Because
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, because like when you're born, like these are things we're born with, right? Like we don't make a person in a wheelchair a Halloween costume.
Right. Exactly.
Right? I mean, no one is getting in a wheelchair and rolling around for Halloween, like, because that's fucking offensive.
Right. Exactly.
But it's interesting how we don't see it with other pieces of our society. And I do think this is an important thing. I know it's heavy, but I think it's an important thing for us to talk about and make sure that the world knows, where we stand,
Right.
and B, kind of how two regular old people are navigating through it.
Right. And I mean, who's to say, going back to cancel culture, like, I loved Pocahontas. I mean, y'all don't, by looking at me, you don't know that I have Native American in me. It's very minute. I don't know what it is. I need to go back and look. I think I have the information, but like, I dressed up as Pocahontas one year. I literally have still to this day the blanket that I got in 3rd grade, my Pocahontas blanket. Still have it. It's on my bed right now. I'm looking at it. It's cute, but like, me dressing up as an Indian, you wouldn't know that I had Indian in me, Native American in me, but that could have been offensive too. As a whatever, how old I was, 9, 10, 11, I don't know. How old are you in 8th or 3rd grade?
just a baby. But you're right.
That 3rd grade last week, so I don't know.
Yeah, you're right. And there is, and that's another fight that we're really becoming vocal about, is Indigenous people in this country, of how they've been treated. There's a lot of similarities in all of this, and I just think, it boils down. I just think, be a good person and be willing to grow, and be willing to listen. I mean, if if a person of color is telling you that something is offending them, and you are a white or white presenting person, hear them. Huh?
Yeah. Hell, like, let's not even bring race into it. If somebody is telling you something like, hey, something's wrong, I need help, you should drop what you're doing and help in any way that you can. Like,
that's right.
That's literally what it is.
Yeah, we've really lost that piece, and of course I'm all about our fight for this revolution. I think it's an important thing for every human to have these human rights, especially our Black brothers and sisters. And I think we can't lose sight of what the goal is, which is
Speaking
equality.
Of which, we need to go ahead and like highlight the positive too. Federal rulings, the Supreme Court for LGBTQ rights. You can't be fired for being gay. That's amazing.
And they were trying to back that out, which thank goodness we couldn't. It's an important thing. It's a very scary thing to think that someone could literally fire you on the basis of being LGBTQ+.
Right.
Blows me away. Just that we're still having these discussions.
Exactly. If somebody got fired, I mean, I would probably get fired too, because I'm going to fight your boss. Like,
it's going down.
Right.
But I can't even imagine. They're like, we have fired you, Jonathan. Why? Because you gay. No. And I make jest I say that in jest, but this has happened in our country. Transgender people are fired every day. So to have some sort of legal recourse, I think, is an important thing. And just because we mentioned it, I think one thing I have to say, because we have this platform, is one of the sub communities that is not getting enough love and attention is our Black trans brothers and sisters. And I just want to say, you all know Laurie and I are huge advocates for anyone, but we absolutely stand with trans Black lives.
Oh, absolutely.
And so I think it's an important fight that sometimes gets brushed under the rug. But I think it's an important thing to, these crimes happen daily, and it's just atrocious. But know that and again, that's the reason we have this podcast. We have a platform. We want to make sure we talk about relevant, real things.
Right. Exactly. So.
And girl, this shit's going on in the world. I mean, whether we can't brush this under the rug, whether we wanted to or not. But it's just wild.
And then because I know we have listeners that are like across the world that are not in the United States of America. It's crazy here right now. Yeah, what you're seeing on the news is crazy. Not everybody is a bad person here in America. I want you to know that. So
I mean, most are, but yes, Laurie is right. But no, I'm kidding. No, I believe there's more love than hate, because listen, the world would be imploding if there wasn't.
Right.
We would be in the opposite place, and so that's what we need to get back to.
Exactly. So,
but you're right.
Pray for us either way. I mean, we're okay. We will prevail. So much is going on. We got COVID still going on. We got Black Lives Matters. Hey, it's Pride Month. That's great.
Pride Month. Yep. Wrapping up 2 more days. Holla holla.
Exactly. We were talking about stuff yesterday too, like different, like what classifications are, I guess, is the best thing to say. I don't know.
Yeah, sexual orientations and identity. Yeah.
But like there's a lot going on. There's still a lot of good stuff going on, and just so you guys are aware, there's a lot of good stuff going on in our personal lives right now, despite the world going to shit. But we had a huge talk 2 weeks ago now.
Yeah.
Or this week, technically. Oh, it was last week.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, because you traveled this. Well, we have been talking the last couple of weeks, but yes, I think it was this last week that we were talking about that.
I think so. Yeah. Ding, ding, ding. Yeah. Yeah. So, like, we want to be happy about our successes and everything that's going on in our lives, but we feel kind of guilty. So
yeah, it's hard to be happy. We talked about
exactly.
It's hard to be happy given the state of the world. You and I were just saying, and I'll share with the world. You don't always see us, and we've done great on our weight loss journey. You know, I don't want to jinx it by any means, but knock on wood. Right, exactly. Hey, you need bread. You know, we've done a lot of things behind the scenes in our professional and creative lives, in our personal life. It's just weird because you can't share it in this time, or feel like you can't share it, because it feels like it's shifting focus from a more important thing.
Right.
Or is it insensitive to be happy about a new this, a new that?
I think our fear comes from more so being canceled. You know what I mean? Like, hey, yeah, I'm talking about this important issue, but I also want to like celebrate what's going on. Like, I want to start advertising again for like my brands and stuff like that, because I have a lot of stuff coming on here soon. I won't do it in July because I'm gonna take a break.
She's taking a hiatus.
Yeah.
Cheer, DJ Kelly.
A forced one, actually. So, which you guys will find out why in August. Going to jail.
You're scheduling it. It's very. She was part of the admissions scandal.
Yeah, so it's really weird. I try to get my kid in. The weird thing is that I have no kids.
Yep, but they're all rowers. They row.
Right. Yeah. Could you imagine? Oh shit.
No, ma'am.
But yeah, so it's a lot of feelings right now, like of, you know, still happiness, but then you feel guilty for being happy, and then you feel angry for what's going on in the world, and you feel angry about people not like being pissed off about wearing a mask, you know, but you know, it is what it is. Yeah, I'm being shady.
Yep. If being a mask is the most horrible thing in your life, just you have it pretty good, and that may or may not be what we call privilege. if that is your number one worry in this country right now, is wearing a mask, that is literally a act of privilege. And I'm not calling you out or being mean. I just want you to be reflective about it.
Exactly.
That's all. Because I'm sure there's people right now who are listening who are like, these fucking idiots.
Taking away my freedom for wearing a mask. What you need to do is switch your thinking. You need to be a more positive thinker. For example, I love wearing my mask because I don't have to wear foundation and put on makeup and stuff like that. I ain't got makeup on right now. I'm about to go run real quick with my mask on and look cute because my eyes are stunning and it hides my bags. Okay, like
that's all right. You know, an analogy I heard about masks, which I really, really like. Obviously, I heard the P one, which is hilarious. But this other one I heard, it was really wholesome. It's like, if you see a senior citizen struggling with their groceries outside of a grocery store, what do? You probably ask if they need help and you assist them.
Yeah.
That is the exact same action. And why do you do that? Because it's courteous,
I don't know if
right?
This story, but that's so weird because I literally had like somewhat of that story, like a legit story like that. I was pulling into work, and I saw this older couple, and they were sitting on the ground, and I was like, "Why are they sitting on the ground?" And I'm like, "Oh, they need help." So I like parked my car in the middle of the parking garage thing, and I ran. I'm like, "Do you guys need help? Hold on, let me get my mask." I had to run back and get my mask, so I had to help them up and like make sure they get to their appointment and stuff like that, because you can't just leave them, you know.
Wait, they were just like sitting on the ground?
Yeah, because I guess I think the wife was trying to help the husband out of the car, and then I guess they both fell. Yeah, so I helped. One of our building janitors were there too, so he helped, and then another lady that just happened to be walking out of the building like came and helped too. But it was just so nice. It's the perfect scenario to describe what's going on. Like, hey, these older people are like the black people, they need help, so we have to run in and help them get back up on their feet, make sure they're okay, get them, you know, to where they need to be.
That's right. And if you drove by and didn't help these two people who are clearly in distress, that is part of the problem in the world, right? I mean, that's the problem, is we're not helping people in need. We're not even being courteous enough to wear a mask for these people. Like, it's, you know what I mean? It blows me away. It's
Right.
if you can get out and help, if you hold the door for someone, that's common courtesy.
Right.
Much like wearing a mask.
Exactly.
Like, girl, just wear a mask. I know you do. I know I do. I know a lot of people in our lives do. But I just.
And if you judge me for wearing a mask, that's cool. I judge you. I'm wearing a mask because I literally don't trust you, sir. Wherever you are, you know,
Exactly.
like that's what I'm gonna start telling people. Yeah, I'm wearing a mask because I don't trust you.
That's
like,
right. Yeah, it's true. And let's be honest, I don't think anyone enjoys wearing a mask.
No, absolutely.
No, girl.
Wearing a mask in the airport was a struggle. Like,
Oh,
I thought it
yes.
was somewhat in shape. Nope.
No.
Yeah, I was like, hot air. Oh, that's my.
That's awesome. Laurie, I always love getting together with you, and I like to that our podcast has never been in a stringent format that we can talk about shit like this, you know.
Exactly, same.
We can start the episode off by being complete kookballs and dive into something that's actually affecting us and the world, and it's cool. I hope our viewers still enjoy this. We of course thank you guys a million times over for the support and support through our breaks, you know, because obviously we've been going for a couple years. This is our 62nd episode, but we couldn't have done it without you guys. Seriously.
Thank you guys so much. Like, we are so excited to bring. Well, I can't say that. Can't say that.
Yeah, well, you did do yesterday. You looked up. We hit a new stat on our SoundCloud and podcast statistics.
Yeah,
which is now.
So I remember before we were at 17.5 million plays in total, but now we're up to 17.7 million. Yeah.
Hoo-hoo. Yeah, it's very exciting. It's cool that you guys continue listening, especially with the little content we're providing. But know that we are working behind the scenes on some fun stuff.
Exactly.
Now we are taking a little bit of a break while you and I take our hiatus.
Yep.
But we do have a very special announcement. So we're going to be announcing some very, very cool stuff in a little bit, and that's going to be August 22nd.
Yes.
You can find that episode wherever you listen to podcasts and where you stream and listen to them today.
Yes.
We're going to make a very, very important announcement on August 22nd of this year about the future of that podcast.
Exactly. So we got some big changes that we want to talk to you guys about. So, and it actually kind of goes with how can I tease this? It goes
kind of. Yeah.
Go ahead. You go.
It kind of goes with. I actually had nothing. I was just trying to fill the void in case you were thinking. I was like, it kind of fills up the things of the area, so Laurie can get her thoughts together to deliver them. And sometimes when I talk nonsensicals, Laurie thinks I'm actually have something good, and I do not.
That's exactly what I was going to say. That's so weird.
Crazy.
So the portion of our break deals with our announcement, I guess. I don't know. I guess that's the best way to put it. Yeah, let's just leave it at that. So, yeah.
Our announcement is contingent on what the break is happening now.
Yes.
And it will make sense about the break and all these hints and clues we've told you about. But due to legalities, we have to be very quiet.
Yes, exactly. So.
But know that LPiddy and I are doing some really cool shit the next couple months.
Exactly.
And we can't wait to share.
We support each other through everything. Yeah.
Always. Yes, actually, thank you for mentioning that, because we did talk, because people get worried about our podcast.
I know. It's just you don't have time.
Yes, I want you guys to know, Laurie and I made a commitment a long time ago that no matter what successes we hit, because here's the thing, there's only one way for both of us, and it's up. Which means we will continue this podcast forever. Yeah, we always thought, we're always going to come back to this, because here's why we started this podcast: to have fun together.
Exactly.
We literally were like, hey, let's get in a dark room and start recording.
And now look at us. We're in a lighter room.
We're in a much lighter room. It's lit. But I've been so thankful, and it is weird to conclude the last recording, for lack of better words, in Laurie's house. But I'm really grateful. This also, while we're here, you will probably never hear the podcast again in the Jon Jon & Co studio.
Exactly.
So that's some pretty crazy stuff. There's a huge transition happening, and like I said, we'll share more of that on August 22.
Yeah, so put that on your calendars. You'll see us putting out some announcements soon, but we'll still be posting on social media because we have a social media schedule. Well, we will, but
We absolutely do. And of course, you guys can get engaged in the conversation all over social media at hashtag that podcast. That podcast. But yeah, so we will definitely have that fun stuff. You can find me all over social media at Jon Jon Lannon.
And you can find me at LPiddy.
I'm, of course, Jon Jon.
I'm Piddy.
And this is hashtag that podcast. Bye.